two main reasons loans blow up in underwriting. Now, a loan blowing up in underwriting is something nobody wants to happen. It's really up to the loan officer to flesh out the problems that are common with files and to make sure that we don't have these issues. So the two biggest ones, number one, I've got to say is income. Now, income is not always cut and dry. Surely, if you have a salary and it's set, that's an easy one. But unfortunately, most people aren't that easy. There's a commission, there's tips, there's bonus income, there's all sorts of irregular and variable types of income that we have to deal with. And if you're not looking at it and you're not looking at the big picture, what's going to happen is the underwriter is going to have a different opinion as to what that income actually is. Now, unfortunately, if their opinion is lower than yours as a loan originator, you're going to have a problem. You've got to watch your income to debt ratio and make sure you're not overestimating the income that you're using to qualify the borrower. So getting details up front is very important. The other one is credit, and you would think that it's cut and dry. You look at the credit report and everything should be there. Unfortunately, that's not the world that we live in today. The government has recently created some rules that really prevent liens and judgments from showing up in credit reports anymore. So we have to do extra due diligence up front to make sure that we don't have those type of issues that are just lurking out there. Now, sometimes it's obvious something's gone into collection and you can dig through and find out that it's turned into a judgment by talking to the borrower. But we've got to do a public record search if you're going to be consistent and make sure you don't have surprises at closing. The other thing credit-wise that sometimes hurts folks is a thing called a caver. And what that is, the government keeps a list of folks that have defaulted on government-backed loans in the past. It might be a student loan debt you didn't pay back or some other type of debt. And what they say is, we're not going to loan you any more money if you still owe us some previous debts. So you'll get on the list, and if you don't check that list up front, you might find out that a borrower that looks golden has got some issues that weren't obvious at first. So you've got to check that cavers list if you're doing a government loan. You've got to check public records to make sure that you don't have any kinds of liens or judgments. And the other thing that sometimes is hidden out there is a foreclosure. One of the questions on the application is, have you had a foreclosure in the last 7 years? Or a deed in lieu of, meaning, hey, you're about to go into foreclosure, I'm just going to give you my property. Let's not go there. Here, just take it. So folks will understand the differences sometimes. There's also a short sale where they sold the house for less than what was owed, and the lender either forgave the difference or possibly came after them for the difference, depending on what state you're in and how those laws work. So you've got to also look for past foreclosures, because somebody will think 7 years, that was a long, oh, it was 10 years ago. And then when you get into the file, you find out, no, it wasn't 10, it was only 6. And now you've got an issue. Two big reasons why loans blow up in underwriting: income and credit. And that's just something that we have to watch out for as a lender and work with our borrowers to make sure there are no surprises at the table.